Hey, what's up, creators? This is John, and you have once again located the Sketch Podcast. I am here, as always, with sketch publisher Bob Hickey, sketch editor Bill Nichols, and we're going to be talking several different things digital this evening. One, adding to the discussion we gave for you last week of the wiki, still my favorite word. Um, but today we're going to tell you how to do essentially the same thing with another of our favorite pieces of software. But before we do all that, how you doing tonight, guys?
Doing great, John. How
That
about you?
Oh, I am fabulous. That, of course, was the inimitable Bill Nichols, and
Hey,
on the and on the quiet side this evening, that was Bob Hickey. So, the wiki making machine.
yeah.
Now we can accomplish that with one of our favorite pieces of thing, WordPress. How do you do that?
Um, well, after our conversation last week, you brought up the concept of doing it if WordPress had a plugin. And
Right.
so I got investigating it because WordPress is a free program you can download and install on your server, and it's real easy to do. Um, and it's free, and it updates all the time, so it's always new software out there. But it's easier to make it fit within an existing web page as far as look and feel. WordPress has things called plugins. These are little softwares that you can just put in place that will um, basically rewrite the code to allow you to do different things like drop menus and stuff. So I investigated, and there is wiki plugins. So I played with them a little bit. Even though what I was creating, I really didn't care. The whole aspect of the wiki for WordPress is that you allow somebody to modify or add to what you're writing without having to log into it. Um, that's not the part that I really was wanting. What I was more worried about is the search features, the alphabetation, drop-down menus. Well, within a few minutes, I was able to find what I wanted, and ended up rebuilding everything that we put on the wiki into a WordPress doc. And now I can make that WordPress doc more fit into my website so it feels more seamless going from the site to the who's who and then back to the site. The search features is easy. I plugged in about 20 items. I searched one character's name and it brought up all 6 items that her name was attached to. So it's nice. You can add in photos, the text. It really adds a lot to your abilities, and it's simple. A lot of people are using it to blog. A lot of people are using that software. But the way WordPress works is you download the main software, and it comes with a basic template. And the basic template now in the latest version is real nice. You can just leave that. Or I really suggest, since this is about comics, is go out and get the plugin called Comic Press. You can do a Google search, and it's free. It is what they call a theme. And I know this all sounds complicated, but it's really not. You download a theme, go through, there's instructions at Comic Press how to install it. Put it in with your WordPress. Then now you've got WordPress, and WordPress offers several different ways to make it look. Borders and just with the comic on, with the comic off, with headers and banners. It's all pre-built for you. You don't have to design it. It's there. And then I wanted a narrow format with my text because I want it to look very clean. So I was able to find a what they called a child theme, and that's just a little. It's like a template for Comic Press. So you grab that and you put it where it belongs. And actually, I think it comes with Comic Press. Actually, I didn't have to grab it. Boom, you're ready to run, ready to start kicking your information. There's a back end to WordPress where you log in. It's called administration, and you play with it, turn things on, turn things off, play around with it until you get fitting and you learn the tools. But it's all free, and you can't beat that. It's free. It's easy to use once you get into it. I run Clay's Way through WordPress and Comic Press every week. So it's easy to use, and I liked it because with the Skystorm site, I'm using black backgrounds and stuff. I'm able to keep that theme with the Who's Who where I couldn't with the wiki. The wiki looked like a wiki. It was white and it controlled the sidebars, and I could manipulate a little bit of the center, but the Who's Who, I've created a banner today with like headshots of all the characters, and it's going to really fit in with the site a lot more. So that's sort of where I'm going. Am I going to wish I don't know. We'll see. I'll let you all decide once the site goes live next month. So, but I really like it. It ended up being much easier. And this way, it's not a problem. Say that Bill comes on and adds in characters, or you, John, you come in and tweak some characters, or I can give you all logins so everybody can get in there and tweak them, but nobody can actually manipulate. I couldn't. Problem with the wiki is if you didn't lock it, if you forget to lock in that character, somebody could come in and start rewriting your characters from the outside. So that's the other thing I sort of liked about it. So.
And for those people who missed the show last week, Bill, what is Skystorm creating a wiki for in the first place?
Well, basically, it's to keep track of. There are so many characters. It's sort of like a who's who, like Marvel Universe, that kind of thing, with characters, their backgrounds, their powers. In some cases, their links to other characters, that kind of thing. Their stories, their backstories, kind of thing. Their history, and it's creating a reference, a Bible for Skystorm. That would be online.
Which, to jump in here just real quick, we have this ability to get online and to offer our future readers and the people interested in our project as much information as possible. Now, somebody brought up yesterday is that you got to be careful how much you give away free. I believe you open the doors up as all the way up until you say, okay, now I need 99 cents for the book. I believe you can offer up, here's what my characters are about, here's what the storylines, here's our themes. You want them to get excited about what you're doing. You want to share with them. And then when it comes to them really wanting to support you and read it, then you want to sell your books, $1.99, $99, whatever you decide. But I think it's important where in the old days like us, we had to go out and buy the DC Who's Who and the Marvel's universes and stuff like that. I think you really do work real hard to try to put them online and keep tweaking and adding to those online as new storylines and stuff develop. You can put stuff on there that you've never. I gave the two girls, Blood and Roses, middle names right here. I never referenced it, and I thought, well, it'd be nice to add that. Boom, right there on the site. First time ever seen when it goes live. So, and that's just a little thing. You can really work at it. You don't want to give away future storylines, but you definitely want to reference what you have currently in print.
And we also had another digital aspect that came up. Speaking of readers, or in our case here, listeners, that we wanted to address tonight.
Yeah. I'll be nice.
You will be nice.
I'll try. I got an email saying, what is this all about digital comics? That he wanted to do print comic and he wanted to do a traditional comic. And that's fine, please do a traditional comic. Also, please go buy paper at Blue Line to do your traditional comic. But anyway, what is a traditional comic nowadays? Digital is playing a huge role on the future readers and on the current readers. It's if you want to go in with blinders on, please go do exactly what you want to do and go to print. But you no longer have a distributor who's going to support you. There's the old cold cuts. What the heck is the name, John? Brant works with them.
Haven.
Haven. Thank you.
Yeah, yeah.
Haven's out there, but they're hitting a very small percentage of the stores. They're doing it ain't their fault. It's that stores don't like to use multiple distributors, so they don't use Haven and other guys, but they should. Um, but the concept of getting in 100 stores with your print comic or getting it on the internet to hundreds of thousands possible readers, it's crazy to ignore the digital end of what, and we're just at the beginning of this, you know. It's crazy to ignore the possibilities of digital release. Which reminds me, y'all know Fantastic Four came out today,
I had heard that,
and
yeah.
one of the characters dies.
Yes, indeed.
Where my store that I used to own, the guys
Mhm.
went to it. They're selling that issue new today for $8
Holy moly.
because Marvel announced they would not reprint it. What they shipped is all they printed. So, do you think Marvel, thinks, oh well, the 50,000 or whatever it is they printed, 100,000, 200,000, whatever they printed, of that book's out there? No. You go buy it digitally for $1.99 or $1.50 or whatever they sell their digital stuff on iTunes. They know that issue is going to be picked up on iTunes, and it's going to boost their digital sales. So, but yeah, evidently it's going on eBay or something for like 12, 14 bucks or something like that. So,
Wow. That's not even a variant cover. That's
nope,
just the regular.
just a regular cover. It came bagged evidently because they didn't want people seeing.
Oh, who died?
Yeah.
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 So.
I didn't. I mean, I'm vaguely familiar with that going on, but it sort of sounds like back when Batman got
Superman.
his back broken and Superman.
But
I didn't get it. So.
But back then, all you had was comic shops, and so DC and those guys, they made sure that that issue was out in some type of format. But now Marvel can say, look, no, we're not going to reprint this, because they know the digital end is endless.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, well, stores are selling this for $8. Hallelujah, go for it, guys. They can go over to iTunes, pick it up for $1.99 all day long. So the big guys are using the digital end of this. They know where it's going to go.
Yeah.
And we have.
And it takes out some of the middleman too. So.
Now, it sort of throws in some though, because what you have to do is to get on iTunes. I'm currently signing contracts right now. Right now, Skystorm has contracts with My Digital Comics, Drive Through Comics, and somebody else. I'm gonna give them all plugs here. So let's see, My Digital Comics, Drive Through Comics. Okay, those are the two I've got done here. I'm getting ready to sign with like Wowio and all non-exclusive. I don't know. Before I'm done, we'll have 9 digital distributors out there. Now they all take a percentage, anywhere from 20% to 40%. I'll be on iTunes maybe with 3 different distributors. Some of them have their own readers. Some have other outlets. Some of them only sells PDFs. Whatever. I didn't care. I want it out there so anybody who wants it and they have their favorite distributor or purchaser or what do you want to call them, outlet for this, they'll be able to get our stuff. So, but that guy gets a percentage. Like I said, anywhere from like 25% to 40%. So it's almost the same as selling it through Diamond. But there's no cost. There's no investment of printing. There's no
returns. No.
Exactly. Yes.
Yeah.
And the cool thing is, if you can build up that readership and do well with it, then go print a trade in print. Once you have this completed storyline. So, I say, if you truly want to go traditional, good luck. Unfortunately, the distributing outlet is not out there for you. Diamond has truly just about shut the door on everybody. And definitely need to investigate the digital end.
Well, and it hurts you nothing at all to do both.
Nothing at all.
If you want to go print, go print.
Right.
But it doesn't hurt you a bit to also explore the digital aspect.
I believe the future of print comics are going to be part of our merchandise deal. We hope with Skystorm to be able to create comics, sell enough digital to pay for the talent, and make a profit. But then what we decide to put in print will be what we take to shows, sell online, and other ways to move our merchandise. Now we might take a trade and offer a trade through Diamond and other book distributors to get in bookstores and stuff. But that's a high return. And also we could eat some, but we know eventually we will sell them, a trade.
Right.
But I truly think the future of printed comics for anybody except for Marvel and DC. Marvel, DC, MH, Dark Horse is sliding a little bit. They're going to, Dark Horse still does well with its main titles. They're going to be around for a while printing paper comics, monthlies, because that's their mode of business. But I truly believe we can build a mode of business doing it digitally. The digital distributors want us. Well, all of us except Comixology's been a little bit of a pain in the butt, but I'm sure it's just they're swamped and I'm not getting the right person yet. So I'm still knocking on doors, but it'll happen. Like I said, I'm already going to be in Untunes by 2 other people so far. So it's a way to compensate your investment into what you're doing. And that's what you want to do. If you're creating comics just to create comics, you don't care, I love you. Go for it. If you're doing it as this is something I want to do for my life as an income, then look at all your possibilities of doing it out there. All the ways to get your stuff out there in front of an audience. Because it's getting there's don't get me wrong, there's gonna be lots and lots and lots of comics out there. And the difference in the digital medium than say walking in a bookstore is that in a bookstore you walked in the new rack and there might be 50 new titles? Maybe not 50, 30. Maybe somewhere about 30 to 45 new titles that day. And that's what you really were up against that week. And then you get moved over into the month-old rack where you got a couple hundred titles you're up against. Then you get moved into the boxes. Well, there's no longer the boxes of the monthly. There's all the titles out in front of you from the 1960 classic comics all the way up to something that was just produced today. They're all faced out. You're competing with them all. But the concept is that you're out there without any investment out of your pocket to get it out there. Not that you haven't invested to produce it, because you have. But to get it out there, you didn't have to pay a printing bill and distribution. So.
And for those people who are freaking out, we're talking about distributing your comics. If you're sitting there thinking, well, I don't know how to make comics digitally.
No.
You don't have to.
No.
No.
Go buy that blue line paper.
Yeah, we'll cover that. We'll cover the making of comics in another podcast, but just to put it out there for clarity's sake,
No.
We're just talking distribution here. We're not talking creating comics. So don't freak out and you start going, oh my God, I've got to learn to pencil, ink, color, and everything else in Photoshop.
No,
you don't. You never will have to.
No, not as long as they make scanners. You won't have to.
Right. But I just felt I needed to throw that out
correct,
there. So
correct. We don't want to, we don't want to think everybody's got to make everything totally digitally. That wouldn't be good for my company, Blue Line.
Well, exactly.
But no, once you're done with your product and you get it in a computer, you get it scanned or digitized or however you're going to do it, and you get it ready to print. And every printer out there wants everything scanned as a file now. Hardly anybody will take a hard file to print from. They just don't. They don't shoot negatives and stuff like that like they used to in the old days. So once you get into that format, a TIFF or a JPEG, then that's how you make your digital comic. But yeah, no, you don't have to produce it digitally.
Because we like ink.
Yes.
Yes, we like paper. We like pages. We like all that stuff. So
Gra-
don't freak out.
Graphite on our fingers.
Yeah, exactly. So don't freak out.
Nope.
There are always ways.
Yes, there is. And check out Sketch Magazine. They'll give you tips on how to do it. Bill, we need to write some articles creating digital comics.
Can do.
All right. So that was an email, and thank you. We keep asking for emails and asking for suggestions, and that one sort of caught me like, really? But please keep them coming. Throw us curves. That's fine. We can handle it.
Yeah, and if you have questions or if you have observations about things, anything that we talk about, that's fair game for a comment to podcast at sketchmagazine.net. That gets to all of us, and we may trade emails back and forth or talk to each other, and brings up possibly a new topic or revisiting a topic for another podcast. We don't ever mind that, so we welcome that.
And speaking of emails, I wanted to say Josh Lange, or Lang, however you say your last name, thanks for the email, and good luck on the self-publishing project you have. If you have any questions or need any help, we're here for you, and thanks for the kudos for the podcast. We appreciate it.
Yeah.
So at some point we need to really dive into WordPress, guys.
Yes, we do.
Yeah, I think the listeners would like that. So,
is there anything else digital you want to cover before we move on to our normal things?
It seems like we're always talking digital, and maybe that's why we scared off or upset the person who emailed us. Maybe we did, but it is a future that is really going to blossom this year. There's some new equipment that's coming out that's very affordable to read comics on. There's a lot of, like I said, up to 9 places to get your works into. So it's out there, just.
Well, I was going to say, if you need no other proof that digital is the way to go now, I don't know if everybody's heard the news, but Wizard Magazine, as a magazine, no longer exists.
Right.
It will now be completely a digital magazine.
Yep.
So, that's got to tell you something beyond, Wizard's other issues.
Yep.
The fact that, they've gone completely digital has to tell you something about the way the industry's going.
Yep. They actually called today.
Oh,
yeah, they
did.
called the office. They're like, "You guys gonna be in New Orleans this weekend?" I'm like, I should have left today if I was gonna be in New Orleans. Why?
Exactly.
Well, you're on the list. I said, yeah. They said, but we don't have a contract. I said, yeah, because they mentioned to me in Atlanta. I was like, no, I'm done for the year. No, we'll get cranked up next spring. So, yeah, they thought we were coming down to New Orleans this weekend.
That's amusing.
Yeah, that's the organization. But
it's like, yeah, I'd love to if you're gonna send me a plane ticket. But yeah, that's a different story.
Yep. But yeah, we will talk a lot about digital comics over time. We'll talk about WordPress and comic press and themes, and it's information that people need to really look at because they're free tools. That's what I love about them. You don't have to go out and buy them. Mm-hmm. They're absolutely free, and once you dive in, they're not bad, are they, Bill?
No, it can be just a little overwhelming at first, but once you start playing with it, and really that's some of the things I do. I mentioned before, I will create things or do things just to play with it and see what happens and see if I can figure things out. And of course, sometimes I mess things up, but you learn from that too. No comment.
And you've already shut yourself down once, right?
Well, I still don't know where that came
I
from.
don't have a clue either. It was just a weird glitch, but
because I would have needed the login thing, whatever it was, and I didn't have it. I mean, I have it now because I know what I was looking for, but no, that just out of nowhere.
Yep.
It updated itself is basically what happened. So.
Yep. When it did, it shut it down. It didn't like the database. So Darren saved the day.
Yay,
You
Darren.
still own
And
ink.
I will be inking something for Ringtail Cafe or whatever they want. I have not forgotten. I reminded them before. So, just have to figure it out.
Cool.
Because I really appreciate the help.
Yes.
Trust me, they won't let you forget they've got a lot of irons in the fire, I'm sure.
I had a lot of
plenty
irons.
for ink.
Jeez, oh Pete.
Yeah, I know. I was up there with them when they showed me the list. I'm like, oh my.
Yeah. For two people working on this, Krista working a full-time job, I don't know. They're awful busy people.
That's true.
But I tell you, something happened this week that sort of frustrated me, and I don't know if other creators do it. I don't know if you guys did, but I was working on the Claysway strip, and the strip that's currently up, it's called My Story Part 1. And so when this comes out next Monday, it will be 2 strips from now, I guess. So you got the page back if you want to check it out. It's a big panel. It's got Clay and Pan holding guns, Nerf guns. They're Nerf guns. They're green. And then there's all this craziness going on behind them. I went in and I spent probably 3 or 4 hours just detailing the heck out of this background. This faded sky and the mountains, and detailing the figures and the planes and the robots and saucers and all that. Walked away from it, came back and looked at it, and I couldn't even see the 2 main figures. It was like just gibberish all around them. So I ended up just grabbing it all and did a I don't know if it was a fill that basically knocked everything back to a solid color with tonals in it. And to me, it actually turned out to be one of the better pieces I've colored. But I was sort of ticked. I spent all that time only to blow it all back in a matter of a few minutes. But then what really bothered me was figuring out how to script this piece, because the next strip leads into a snowball fight. They're throwing snowballs back and forth across the road, right? How do you take this piece and transition into that? And you would think, well, heck, you wrote the strip, you should know. No. I wrote a fight. This strip came out of a discussion that Jackie and I had, and it's like nothing was ever written for it. It was just, yeah, that'd be cool. Yeah. When I sit down to write it, I'm like, oh my gosh, wow, what the heck? You know, it really, there's no gag, there's no joke, there's no, what do I do? And it took a while for me to come up with something, and then finally I handed it to Bill and said, Bill, play with it or do something.
Yeah, I had to guess what the next strip was going to be.
Yeah.
But I mean, you had everything there. All the elements were there. I just had to, punch it up or tweak a little bit. And then, like I said, I sort of knew what you had planned before with this strip arc, introducing Isabel. And so I just went with that. And, like I said, you're always free to. It's like with working with Chris, Noah on Maya. It's, these are just suggestions, and it's hopefully to help you, to give you some kind of idea of where you can go or what you can use or whatever. But
well, I know I was really stumbling. I mean, I had the sense of what I wanted was like, he's in his head, he's in his imagination, and that's what this scene was, basically at war, da-da-da-da-da. And believe me, these kids with ADHD, they have huge imaginations. My little guy walks around and bouncing a ball, and you hear him go, pew, 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 and he's just bouncing the ball, you know. I look at him and says, "Where are you?" He just looks at me and says, "You don't want to know, Dad." So yeah, it's like, what planet? But so that I had to evade. I had to get that across. So I ended up writing a good little paragraph underneath of it to also set up the scene.
Right.
So you gotta be careful.
A happy accident.
Yeah, you have to be careful that you can. You have to be careful with a strip that what you're trying to get across comes across, even if it's not in the art. And this one is not in the art. The art is a beautiful piece of art. Jackie did a great job. I think the colorings actually did come out. I like the tonals and stuff that came through. I may use these tones for future imaginary worlds, you know. But the words, and where the setup, we went with a yellow box, and then once he started telling his stories, we switched to a white box. So we were trying to use many different tools there as possible to carry it along and try to lead into the story itself. So I don't know. That was really hard for me. That was about one of the hardest strips to script and color. It just really gave me a hard time. The easiest thing on that was to ink it. So I don't know. That was tough. So anybody out there doing daily strips, I really appreciate what you do, because you can really run into some problems. This one gave me fits, but
Yeah, you can't get too. I guess the proper term would be too inside your own head or too colloquial, or something that sounds right to you isn't necessarily going to play to someone else.
right. Well, that's one of the reasons. One of the reasons I always kick stuff to Bill, because I want Bill to see. Okay, is there even a joke there? Is there a gag there? But on this one, like Bill says, he sort of knew what the next strip was. I didn't want to give it to him because I wanted him to see if there's any setup there to begin with.
Right.
You know? So, you agree, Bill?
Yeah, and I think you had it posted within the hour, didn't you?
Yeah.
It was pretty quick.
Yeah.
With the changes and everything,
Yeah.
so it's like, okay, I guess it worked.
Yeah. Well, we were running late that day. So.
Yeah. So I mean, you were sick too. So.
Yeah, I wasn't feeling well.
So that doesn't help the creative process at all, but.
Yeah. Yeah, that's another reason. It
just works against you, you know.
Yeah, that's that motivation thing again, you know.
Yeah, we made it the day. We just didn't make it early that day. It was late that day, but it was a lot of fight to get it there. But yeah, I mean, I won't give Bill strips ahead, especially in storyline strips, because I want to know if they work by themselves or in stages, you know. Because like you said, in my head this is working. But is it working as strips? So, the only time Bill gets the strips ahead is like if I wrap up 3 or 4 in a row, I'll kick it to him, and then he'll still get them in a row that way.
Yeah.
Yep.
Yeah.
So let's hear it for the editorial skills of Bill Nichols.
Yes.
Yay.
That is comicmentor.com.
Yes, it is.
Oh, he'll have to get a new one now, comiceditor.com.
It's probably already taken.
I was about to say, I wonder if it's taken.
Is.
Somebody go research that.
Yeah,
is it taken?
Is it?
If it wasn't, it is now.
That's right.
Yeah, right.
We'll be soon.
No one can have it.
Yeah, that's all right. They can. More the merrier. If you're creating comics, then good for you. Good on you.
Good on.
Good on.
My buddy Brian McCulloch would say, "Good on you."
Anything else going on out there?
My wife had a birthday.
Huh?
My wife had a birthday last Sunday, and
that's important.
Besides that, no, had nothing to do with comics, but you know.
Yeah. You know, my dad has a birthday today as we're recording this podcast.
There you go.
Your dad is cool.
Yeah. 72 and still kicking.
Wow. Mm-hmm. Hope I'm still kicking at 72.
Yeah, you will be.
I hope I'm still ticking at 72, let alone kicking.
Yeah, that's true.
I just want to still be breathing at 72.
That's true.
I can't kick now, let alone at 72.
All right, John, you got anything for us over there? The comic related at Sketchblog.
Oh, let's see. I'll bet there's probably a few things over there. Well, speaking of digital, kind of apropos, because the thing that went up today is a very quick lesson on using layers. Now, I need to preface this video a little bit. This video was done specifically for the artist's friend, because the artist's friend was going to be coloring things in Photoshop, and apparently had some issues, and he did not know how to use layers.
Oh.
Which, the first time I ever tried to color something, I didn't use layers either, and it was a train wreck. So, layers, extremely important. If you never used layers before, immediately click it on. You can fix things a lot easier if you don't have to restart the project every time you make a mistake.
Yes.
So layers, go use layers. So check that one out. The guy makes a few mistakes here and there, but he tries real hard. So go check that out. I think the artist's name was Kevin Johnson, which for some reason sounds familiar, but moving on from that. There are two videos after that, the 2 days prior, that both deal with clothing. One of them being fabric and clothing with Adam Hughes. Of course, the very popular Adam Hughes. And another one done by a very popular manga artist who is a YouTube regular, doing things on folds and wrinkles. And as I prefaced it in the first of those videos, unless you're creating the all naked people comic, you're going to have to deal with clothing at some point. So it's better to figure out how to deal with folds and wrinkles and stuff like that early on. Prior to that, we have basics on creating sketch cards. Of course, Blue Line Pro and Sketch Magazine are partners in the Comics for Cure sketch card event, which happens every year. And if you're not in the process of making your cards for this year, get on that, because you'll need them fairly soon. So there's a little thing on sketch card basics. And we'll have more on the new event, when we feel like
I think it's going to be.
And
I think it's going to be a fall event this year.
There you go.
Yes.
Sounds good. A fall event, so you have some time, but
Yep, still get going.
Get moving now. Don't put it off. Hurry, hurriedly done sketch cards look like crap. So take your time, do it right. Speaking of our previous things on motivation, I very much like DC digital artist Freddie Williams, and he's put out a couple of new videos. They're all fairly short, sadly, but one is on motivation, another one on the difficult thing of drawing hair, and the third on Photoshop. So check those out. Then I have a longer one on creating characters. It's a real-time video as this guy goes through his entire process of creating a character. So from blank page up into, I think he gets up to the inking part. So check that out. And then back on to Adam Hughes, have a thing on drawing eyes. And then lastly, I have a thing here on inking and coloring in Adobe Illustrator. The offset, the child, the whatever you want to call it, a Photoshop that a lot of people seem to favor. So go check that one out as well. And I believe that brings us current.
John, you mentioned Adam Hughes twice. Wrinkles
Yes, I did.
and eyes.
Wrinkles and eyes.
Okay.
Those are the first things I always associate with Adam.
I know. Well, it was unusual for Adam because he's not drawing sexy women,
Right.
He's
What?
drawing stand.
Wait.
I know.
He
Wacky.
draws sexy women. Wow.
It's wacky.
I'm so out of the loop.
You are too. As I look around my office here, and I have like 3 or 4 examples of Adam Hughes sexy women looking back at me. But anyway, yeah, it's Adam Hughes doing a much more standard tutorial. So that is why
Awesome.
we bring things like that on the sketch blog.
Right.
We're all about the education.
That's true.
And there we go. That brings us up to
All
date.
right. Bill, what's going on over at Comic Mentor and over at the Sketch Forums?
Let's see. Sketch Forum. We're in the crunch time for the Sketch Magazine art contest. The Despicable Me. Draw your favorite supervillain doing something heroic. You can find updates or timelines or deadlines or all that stuff on Comics Mentor and also the comic related forum under the Sketch Magazine topic header. And on Comics Mentor, one of the things this week was organize your stuff. We were talking about Wiki last week, using that, and WordPress this week, and looking around. I was looking through some of my notebooks and some of the things that binders that I have. I think it's important, especially if you have a lot of ideas, that those ideas can sort of take over. And in the middle of one idea, you can get, another one, and everything sort of takes, once it's placed in the queue, but it wants to bump up its way up in the line. So, organize your projects, especially if you have your own little quote unquote universe, and that also includes everything else, whether it's uh, your workspace or whatever. But organization is having an order puts some sort of meaning to the chaos. So that's a big thing. And last week I had posted, we had talked about this the aforementioned sketch card event for cancer, and I put just an update to say that it's going to be in the fall and all that. And my lordy, there were quite a few views of that one post.
Awesome.
And a few emails and notes in different uh, message boards and stuff where I posted it. So the artists are going to be there, in force, and they're anxious to contribute and do things and be a part of it. Um, so that'll be something to look forward to, and you can keep track on comicsforcures.com, I believe, and
Yeah.
that's another place.
Mm-hmm. It's
So
Go ahead. I'm sorry.
no, that's. I was making sure I had it right, but
Yeah, comicsforcures.com.
Right.
It's cancer touched a lot of us, and through Comics for Cures, we've all been able to contribute thousands of dollars to the American Cancer Society, and it's something that we want to continue. We're going to move it to the fall. They give Blue Line some time to still settle into its new surroundings and the ways of things happening. So we'll be working throughout the summer to get it all well organized. We'll be ready to roll with it this fall. We'll pick a date out.
And we're not trying to hard sell people putting stuff into this, but it costs you no money to make a sketch card other than the sketch card itself.
Yep.
And
No,
it really,
Blue Line will give you. That's one thing.
actually,
Yes,
that's true.
Blue Line
Blue
will
Line
send
will
you the
provide.
sketch cards. Blue Line spends a lot of time, a lot of effort, and a lot of money to sponsor this event. We will pay to send the cards to you. So the only cost that you truly have out of your pocket, other than your time, is the cost of sending it back to us.
And honestly, one little sketch card can do so much.
Yes.
You just would not believe how much that little 3x4 card can not only mean financially for this whole thing, but what it can mean mentally and socially for people who have been touched by cancer to know that people are putting their effort into something like this. It's better than them getting $1,000 thrown at them.
It's
It really touches their heart.
it's we have taken a binder full of cards and shown at cancer meetings these people, and they're just totally amazed that people are willing to contribute these pieces of artwork, small pieces of artwork, and their original artwork, and that it's just amazing. We're talking thousands of cards during an event, so it's from hundreds and hundreds of artists all around the world. Something I thought would be small, local, my friends, you guys, just people I knew, rapidly grew into a major event for this, and it's been a great fundraiser for us. And it's something that we will continue it. It's just like I said, we've got to get all the pieces in place. It's very close to me. My wife had breast cancer, so they actually dedicated to her first year. So it's important to us to keep it going.
Completely recovered and survived,
Yeah,
by the
she
way.
is.
So, she
Yeah,
is.
she appears in the Claysway strip every week and gives me a hard time about it. When she didn't understand the latest strip, she was giving me a hard time about it. I just told her she wasn't an artsy fartsy to leave me alone. But but no, yeah, she did.
You're not hip enough. That's what it
right.
is.
You don't think like an artist. But
That's right.
no, yes, and we've had other people around us, touched by it. And this is very important to all of us. So it will happen. We look forward to it. We just got to have everything in place. It's a lot of man hours to put this thing together. I mean, we were here last fall. We had 5 laptops here in my kitchen. We're all putting cards on, getting auctions ready. Had volunteers here. I mean, it looked like we were running a bookie service. We're all kicking away and scanning, and so it's a massive amount of work to get it ready on our end and on Blue Line's end. So we got to make sure everything's in place so we don't drop the ball. But no,
yeah, this is something we want to do right.
Yes.
We don't want to half-ass this,
Exactly.
so it's going to get pushed back. But
yes, but we
happen.
will announce it. I'm sure to be here first. It seems that we all get together on a weekly basis, so we'll announce it here first, and then we'll move on from that. So it's coming. As far as me, I've been working on the Skystorm site. It's looking good. I've been working on that Wikipedia, but now it's a WordPress wiki. John's favorite word, wiki. And it's coming along.
Should have named my new company that.
You should
wiki.
have, yes. No. Blue Line's got some cool things going on. I'm working on a new newsletter format for it to be out. Oh, I have to announce, if you were a fan of our oversized sketchbooks, those hardcover sketchbooks, I don't know, did you ever see those, John? 11 by 17 pages.
Ooh,
yeah,
no,
hardcover, just like a bound book. We
nice.
are going back to print with them. We found a new binder who can bind our art paper, and this is like an 80-pound art text that we put inside of these. But they can bind them where they won't fall apart. So Mike is right now on the Blue Line site taking pre-orders for the first run of these. So if that's something you're interested in, please go out and check it out. It's going to be in the newsletter that comes out first of next week to promote it, but he's putting a pre-order together now. So that's
better hurry up before I buy them all.
Yes. Oh, they're great. See, Sketch Magazine Digital's out. We've shipped a bunch of those on disc, so that's great. And I want to let everybody know about the podcast. We keep forgetting to mention this. On the podcast, there is a iTunes app now that's available at our site, and an Android app. These are great little apps. I've got it on my phone. It's a one-time buy. It's like, I think they're $1.99, and it automatically you downloads the new podcast. It's great. I love the little apps. And we do get a kickback for it. It's the only way we really ever make any money off this thing. Go out, check out the apps, please. If it's something that you can use, please consider, downloading it. So that's it.
That's it.
Yeah.
All right. How can they get a hold of you, John?
You can always get a hold of me at john@sketchmagazine.net or john@comicrelated.com. comicsmentor@gmail.com.
Bill.
Get a hold of me at comicsmentor@gmail.com. I'm usually on the comic related community forum, message board, whatever.
That place.
And yeah, and we have I've said before and I'll say it again, we have a topic thread for each podcast. So if you like every podcast or just some in general, or have ideas, there's a space for that. Go there and post. Join up. There are plenty of creative people there, and plus we have the contest going on, and we're going to have an inking contest over an Andy Smith page. So it's going to be awesome.
Yes, it is.
Even if you want to go challenge us on something, if we get something wrong, let us know.
Yeah.
We're big people. We can admit that we're wrong. So
Speak
let
for
us
yourself.
know. Okay, I can admit that I was wrong. So
Y'all heard it. John was
I
wrong.
I can admit that John was wrong too.
Yeah.
there
okay?
you go. That's true.
All right.
Everyone can admit when I screw up. So go challenge us if you need to.
All right. You can reach me at bob8@bluelinepro.com or reach all of us at podcast@sketchmagazine.net. I appreciate it, guys.
Same here.
Always.